If you are going to Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, then this video is for you. I recently had the most incredible experience at the Eras Tour in Philly, truly a lifetime dream come true. So I thought I would share my top tips to help you be a mastermind and get the most out of your own Eras Tour. So, are you ready for it? Hello, I'm Bekah, and welcome back to my channel where I share reviews, recipes, and recommendations to help make healthy living a little bit easier. Having just attended the Eras Tour myself, I have so much advice that I want to share, but I want to do so without any spoilers. I know that by now it's really hard to avoid spoilers, and I'm sure you've probably come across stuff through social media about things that happen on the tour. But I know that I personally wanted to be as surprised by the show as I could, so I avoided spoilers as much as possible beforehand, so I just wanted to give you the same courtesy. So I won't be sharing anything with you in this video about the show itself, just tips and advice around it. But I am thinking about putting together a vlog of our Eras Tour experience just because it was so magical, and I've loved seeing what other people have been sharing about their own tour experience, so I thought I could share a little piece of mine. Let me know if that's something you might be interested in. Now, just before we get to the tips, I thought I would share with you just a little bit about my background with Taylor Swift. Obviously, I'm a fan. I'm guessing you are too if you're watching this video. I've been listening to Taylor Swift since her first debut album. Of course, all the singles that came out with it I loved, but I remember listening particularly to Invisible on repeat over and over because that song just really spoke to me. And ever since then, her music has continued to speak to me. I think her lyrics are so genius. Every album is my favorite when I'm listening to it, and she's one of the most hardworking people I've ever seen. But this was actually my first Taylor Swift concert experience. Again, such a dream. My youngest sister actually surprised me with tickets for my birthday last December, and yes, I love being December birthday buddies with Taylor Swift. She was born just about a year before I was, and yes, I did cry when I got those tickets. So this concert was a lot, to say the least. Truly one of the best experiences of my life. I am so thankful to my sister, and I just wanted to share some ways to hopefully help you get the most out of your own experience. So let's get to the tips. My first tip is to prep musically. Now, as a Taylor Swift fan, this is probably no hard task for you. I listen to Taylor Swift almost exclusively. Her music is always on shuffle in my earbuds. But to prepare for the tour specifically, I thought I would listen to one album a day for 10 days leading up to the concert, and I could not recommend it more. It had been a while since I had listened to some of her earlier albums like Debut all the way through, and it was a great way to remind myself of some of those lesser known songs and just to get into the mood and the zone for the tour. I also decided to make a themed breakfast and video for each of her albums, which was quite a lot of work, but so much fun. I definitely got way too into it, but I had the best time doing it. So if you don't want to go quite that far yourself, you could just check out mine. My next tip is to wear a super comfy outfit and shoes. Tour day is a long day. It's an amazing day, but it's a long day. And you don't want to have to deal with an outfit that doesn't fit well or doesn't feel good or is scratchy or anything like that. I would definitely recommend making it Eras themed because it's just so much more fun. One of my favorite things about arriving at the stadium was seeing all of the incredible costumes and outfits that people put together. Like, some people are so talented and put so much time and effort, and so just to be part of that is really fun. So plan it out in advance and try it on beforehand so that you can just make sure that it feels good, it fits well, and is something that you'll be comfortable in all day and night. Also, have a good think about your shoes. I wore a bit of a heel because I went as a mirror ball, and it just did not feel authentic to the song to be in anything but my highest heels, or, you know, close to that. I don't regret my decision, and it was fine all throughout the concert. Despite us having to trek all the way up to the very top of the stadium, our seats were the top 2 bleachers. Epic seats. There are no bad seats in a Taylor Swift concert, but it was quite a trek, and my shoes were fine. Taylor's energy will pull you through anything in this concert, honestly, but I did feel it after, so just keep that in mind. My next tip is to look up your stadium's rules and regulations and follow them to the letter. My sister did such an amazing job planning out our trip. She's truly the mastermind. And so she shared with us a Google Doc with all of the information we needed, including a section on the stadium's rules and regulations about what we could bring in and all of that. But I did double check the website a couple of days before the concert just to make sure that we were crossing our T's, dotting our I's, and following everything as closely as we could. So you probably know that most stadiums don't allow for regular bags. So for our stadium, we had to get clear bags that were smaller than a certain size. So we used these. You could bring a gallon-sized Ziploc bag. You could have food if it was in plastic. There were no drinks allowed, things like that. So just check your rules. And you were also allowed a small, like wallet-sized purse. For us, it had to be smaller than your hand. So this one's actually my mom's, but she kindly let me borrow it. And it was super useful for just keeping like cards and change, cash, in case you needed it. You don't want to have things confiscated when you're going in, so just double check the rules and make sure you're following them. Bring an iPhone charger. Your phone is probably going to get a lot of use during this concert, and the last thing you want to have happen is for it to run out of battery. So just make sure you have a fully charged battery pack in your bag. For us, it had to be smaller than the size of your phone. So if that's a regulation for your stadium, then make sure you're following that. I was really concerned about running out of battery, so I made sure that my phone was charging and fully charged up until when we had to leave to go to the tour. And then basically from the time Taylor came out, my phone was plugged into the battery charger just to make sure. Another thing you'll want to bring with you is earplugs. The stadium can get really loud, so your ears will thank you later if you protect them with earplugs. Any earplugs will do, and if you're traveling and you don't have any and you're staying at a hotel, you could always ask at the front desk because that's something that a lot of hotels will give out to their guests. My sister got us these slightly fancier earplugs from Amazon, and they worked really, really well. I'll link them below if you're interested. I didn't wear them for a lot of the concert just because I really wanted to hear Taylor Swift's voice with my own unencumbered naked ears, but I did put them on at times and my ears really appreciated it. Now, we were sitting at the very top, like I said, of the stands, so I cannot imagine how loud it could have gotten if you were on the floor or closer to the stage. I'm sure that's a completely different experience. But for where we were seated, I actually found that the loudest points of the concert came from the audience noise. So the screaming, the shouting, the squealing, the cheering, which I myself was contributing to with everything I had in me. And those moments happened quite a lot, as they should. It's Taylor Swift. And they did get very loud, so I used these especially at those points and was very glad I did. Another tip is to check the weather. I was keeping an eye on the weather forecast for a few days before the concert date, and then especially on the concert day, you really want to be checking the weather and just seeing what's coming up for that evening. And then you want to dress and pack accordingly. For us, it was rainy for most of the concert day, so we packed ponchos, but fortunately did not need them because the weather cleared up beautifully just in time for the concert, and we had the most spectacular sunset. It was truly breathtaking. But no matter what your weather situation is, like, Taylor is going to make it an incredible experience for you. So don't worry, rain or shine, it will be incredible. On the concert date, you'll want to make sure that you drink a lot of water earlier in the day and that you have a very hearty breakfast and lunch. The concert starts at 6:30, and then basically from the time Taylor comes out and does a 3-hour set, like, you're singing, you're dancing, you're moving. It's quite a lot of energy that is going to be expended, so you want to make sure that you're really fueling up and hydrating before the concert. I would also recommend, if possible, having something more relatively safe on concert day. If you're traveling, I know that can be really hard because you might not know any of the eating places around you, but I would just say maybe concert day is not the best day to be experimental in your meal choices. And I cannot stress enough just making sure that you hydrate and drink a lot of water earlier in the day, even like a couple of days before. Try to make sure that you're really hydrating. I totally get if you're concerned about not wanting to use the bathroom while Taylor is doing her set. Right there with you. So if you don't want to be drinking water like around the concert time period, then just make sure that you're doing it beforehand. And like, I just downed a bottle of water after the concert to, replenish. Get to the stadium early. Give yourself plenty of time to get to the stadium, take pictures, use the bathroom, buy food and drink, and get to your seats. When you first get to the stadium is a really good time to get group photos, solo photos, any of the kind of photo shoots you want to do before the concert because it's light outside. There's not like as many people outside the stadium as there is once you get inside. And there's also like lots of people also doing that probably, so we didn't have any problem finding other Taylor Swift fans to like help us taking pictures and all of that. Taylor Swift fans are so nice, and it was also just really fun to like take our time getting there and to meet people and chat to people. People were giving us friendship bracelets, we were like complimenting each other on our outfits, so yeah, it's really nice. Once we were done with pictures and got into the stadium, we decided to wait for the bathroom at the front of the stadium, and it was quite a long queue. We had plenty of time, so it was fine. But we actually found that when we got closer to our seats at the top of the stadium, those bathrooms up there were basically empty. So if that's the case for you and your seats are higher up in the stadium, then it might be worth it to try to use the bathrooms up there before the show starts. Our first opening act actually started a little bit before 6:30, and then Taylor Swift came out around 7:55 p.m. So the show is super timely, and you just want to make sure that you've gotten everything done that you need to before she comes out, especially if you don't want to miss a second of her set, because I know I didn't. Now, if you really need to use the bathroom while Taylor Swift is performing, then definitely take care of yourself, do what you need to do. And there are some longer transition periods while she's changing the set or changing costumes and stuff. So try to aim for those periods if you can and just, yeah, do what you need to do. Phone storage. Make sure that your phone has enough space to fit all of the footage that you want to take because you really do not want to get that dreaded notification that your phone is out of memory space, like I did. If you find yourself in a bind, then just delete anything that is not necessary. So apps that you haven't used in a while, or even apps that you just will not need until, the next day or whatever, like just get rid of that. You want to give your phone as much space as possible for what is important in that moment, and that is Taylor Swift. Plan out your transport in advance, and if you can, buy tickets for your transport before the concert. In Philly, we use the Metro, and there's an app on your phone, so maybe don't delete that one, that you can download and then set up an account. So I did all of that before the concert and then bought our tickets for us to head to the concert. But just in case, keep in mind that login information. We had really bad service area around the stadium, so after the concert, I could not log into the app because I could not get any service. So I actually logged into my account from a friend's phone who had better service and then was able to buy our Metro tickets back. But it's just good to have all of that figured out and know what you're going to do before the concert. Join your tour's Facebook group. In case you didn't know, a lot of the tours, if not all of them, have amazing Facebook groups that you can join for tips and advice leading up to the concert. So my sister joined the group, and whenever we had a question about anything like how big can your phone charger actually be to get into the stadium, or how much is the price of water at the front of the stadium compared to inside the stadium, anything like that, she just went straight to the Facebook group. You could also join a Facebook group after the concert to just connect with people who've been to the Eras tour that you went to, and it's just a really fun way to relive memories and connect with people through there. Film what you want from the concert, but don't stress too much about capturing every single moment. I would say film as much as you want from the concert, but also try to just be in that moment and experience that moment and enjoy that moment as much as you can. I think it's a fine line to walk and a balance that we all make for ourselves personally. So if you want to film loads of the concert, I think go for it and do it because those are such precious, beautiful memories. And personally, I've been rewatching concert videos that I took from the tour every day, and I love re-experiencing that moment and just remembering what an amazing time it was. So I think those are precious memories. Capture as many of them as you want, but don't stress too much about getting particular moments or if you missed something, because there are so many people who are filming this. So if you weren't able to get a specific moment, then chances are your friend did or someone else on social media did, and you'll be able to find it anyways. So yeah, just try not to stress too much about it. And I really have found that watching those videos and also like, finding other people's videos on social media and stuff has helped a lot with those withdrawal pains that you may experience after the concert. Speaking of, my last tip is to just give yourself time and space to process and decompress after the concert. You're definitely coming off of a really big high, and this concert is a lot to take in. I've been finding it helpful to chat to my sister and our friends that went to the concert with us, to rewatch those videos like I was saying, the best memories ever, and to just connect with other people who also love Taylor Swift through social media, just like this. There is an amazing community of Taylor Swift fans out there that I am just starting to get to know, and I love it. So yeah, if you're one of them, I would love to connect with you too. And that's it. Those are my top tips for going to the Eras Tour. Did you happen to catch how many of them there were? If you have any tips or advice to add, please, please, please add them to the comments below. And if you're interested in seeing more videos like this from me, then I really hope you'll subscribe to my channel. If I could sum up this whole video into one final piece of advice, it would just be to enjoy this experience. The concert is honestly mind-blowingly amazing, and you are going to have the best day. So enjoy, let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear about your Eras Tour experience, or just to connect over our mutual love for Taylor Swift and her music. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!